Free Rugby Games.
I taught you this week.
Podcast, yeah. It's
Hurrah!
Way, we're still doing this.
intro.
The end.
Fine.
Slow week.
A very slow week.
Nah, fast-paced and action-packed.
Actually, well, yeah, slow for gaming news.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with, I was going to say the best news, but they're all of a particularly low tier this week. There's a film company called Emmet Furler Oasis Films, right? And apparently they've closed a deal with Atari on bringing Centipede and Missile Command
yeah.
to the big screen.
Yeah.
What the fuck film can you make out of them?
Precisely. I don't fucking know, but apparently, like I say, the deal's closed and it's happening. So.
How the fuck can that be a game?
You can remember Centipede, yeah?
Yeah, it moves
Yeah.
along the screen.
It's like Snake.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
just no snake. You had to steer the snake.
Yeah, but
But
it's
Centipede just moves along the screen and you have to shoot it.
yeah. But it moves like the snake from the snake.
Yeah.
I
That's all
mean,
remember.
Missile Command, you can kind of like crowbar that into a film, do you know what I mean? Shooting missiles out the sky, defending a city.
Oh, look. It's coming down one block at a time.
Yeah.
This
What
is
the
going to be
fuck?
terribly easy.
Apparently, though, this film company, it seems to be their thing because they've also got a Monopoly film in the works. How the fuck can you make a film about Monopoly?
I'm going to break it up immediately with something cool. I was playing on a Vectrex again today.
Nice.
My dad's been busting out the Vectrex for the bands when we go down on a Sunday and I'm sitting hammering Armour Attack
Why is it not
Yeah.
here now?
because it's not for you. Because you're a scum fuck, nigger.
No, we can only not end on that word.
Yeah, you can use it as much as you like during.
I'm using the nigger with an A, by the way, not the racist one.
All right, so you're like a homie.
Yeah, I'm down.
Right.
Yeah. Not down as in I'm feeling a bit sad.
Are you having a midlife crisis?
I mean,
is this
I'm-
what happens when you hit 40? You
I
suddenly
mean-
think you're a gangster.
I mean, I'm down in the way that, like...
Are you
know,
living
with
in
the
Oddie's
kids.
hood, in his gato?
Can you remember that? Oh my word, what a guy he was. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm in his ghetto.
Awesome.
Oh, how are you still here?
Unfortunately.
I've got some bad news for you.
What?
Battlefield 1 is going to have microtransactions.
They always do. All the Battlefields do. I'm sure we've been through this discussion, me and you, every Battlefield.
Yeah, but it shouldn't.
Every Battlefield has the shortcut bundles.
Yeah.
But
They
apparently these are going to extend and enhance the player experience.
They all say that. It's what it is. It's basically like, say, a sniper class bundle, where it's like they pitch it like this. If you
Instead of
don't,
unlocking it
yeah,
yourself.
if you don't have the time to put in and you don't want to get left behind, give us $5.90. And it's basically for spastics who can't hit with the base weapons. So like the you buy the pack, you buy the bundle pack. That's all that is, mate. It's nothing. And it's always existed, and you just like I've just started playing Battlefront this week, and there's people in who've unlocked everything, and I've already had a few rounds where I've gone positive KD, but what I have noticed on Battlefront is that even though mechanically it's Frostbite and it's mechanically very much the same game as like the Battlefields, there's not the team play mindset.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is just latching on to one or two players that look like they know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and I've been giving them support play, which is the nice way of saying stealing their kills.
What I've found as well with Battlefront is a lot of the guns, they're like wildly different, but none of them are like overpowered or underpowered.
Yeah.
They all work in different ways. Like I remember I had Liam Jones round. Well, it was a couple of months ago now. And we were sat playing a few games of Battlefront, and the way he plays it is so different to me. Because I normally use like just like bog standard like blaster rifle, like the A11 or something. Like I'm pretty good with that. And he likes to get like long range, like heavy repeating shit with loads of like recoil. But the way he does it is, do you know, you can like kind of you can kind of smart lock a bit. Where like if as long as your crosshairs like on them centre like as long as they're within your reticle, if you kind of like double tap, it'll like move it to centre mass.
Yeah.
So all he does is he gets them roughly in the area, and he just fans the hammer on this, and he does the same with the thingy, so it just keeps like tracking back onto them like that. So it basically just compensates for the recoil for him, and he just like at range he just blows people away. And I'm like, fucking hell, I'm like, it would never occur to me to play like that. But
Same here, I'm running good
yeah,
all the way away.
I've been mixing my play styles up because I don't know how I like to play it yet. But I've been having some good rounds, like.
Yeah, I had to sell my copy the other day because I need cash, but I'm going to get it again.
all I
It's a fun
found is
game.
that certain maps definitely favour certain weapons. Like a lot of the open plan ones, like you can't run about with like a pistol. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And expect to get the same results because they just haven't got the range.
Yeah.
And by the same proxy, like stuff like the ice caves where it's like all close quarter shit, that's like ideal for
Very,
a fucking
very
pistol.
enjoyable game though. I mean, I liked the beta and I always said I was going to get it and I just never got around to getting it. And I downloaded Battlefield 4 again the other day.
Yeah.
All of this is in anticipation for Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get me chops back up with the Frostbite engine, you know, that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get Battlefront because it's like there for 15 quid.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm having that. And I've been thoroughly enjoying it.
That's the thing though, isn't it? I mean, I know you can't like have a squad as such. You can only have like a partner, don't you, who you can spawn on.
Yeah.
But there's no reason why, like say, because I've got it as well. Callum's got it. You know what I mean? There's no reason why a lot of us can't be in like a chat party and just be paired with each other.
Speaking of Callum, I'm going to have a massive advantage over you on that game anyway, because I've been let into the secret play style known as the Flex Master,
Right.
and I'm not telling you about it because
Right.
you're not worthy.
Fair enough.
But Callum, if you're listening, right, you keep the Flex Master. It's Callum's design. You keep the Flex Master under your hat, son, and just me and you will master it. I'm Callum's Padawan.
Right, I see.
And what's going to happen is we're going to make a series of videos, the how to train your Padawan series.
Good.
And me and Callum he's gonna train me up. He's gonna give me all the inside tips. And when I'm big enough, when I'm a big
You
lad,
can overthrow him.
no, well I might. You know, your lack of faith in me is disturbing. How,
I know, just thinking we would stick with like genuine, like general fucking sort of Padawan
but he's
timeline.
yeah, he's gonna teach me the way of the Flex Master.
What you need to do is have loads of innate talent, right? Then just get really, really cocky. Then like
Well,
ruin
to
it
be fair,
all.
to be fair, I've already been going like quite a few positive KDs and stuff, and I think it's not necessarily so much as innate talent, but it could pass as innate talent. It's basically just years of Battlefield.
Yeah.
See, when you say
honed
the
muscle memory.
Flex Master style, it sounds like you and Callum be lubing each other up.
No, that's not, I'm not telling you. It doesn't matter how much you're abusive, because I know secretly
I'm not being
now,
abusive, that's what it sounds like.
secretly now you're like, if I give him some shit about it, he's going to tell me what the Flex Master is, and it'll make me better too. But you're just never going to be good enough.
Oh, well. Oh dear, eh? I'm going to go home and cry myself to sleep, I think.
Like
Well,
more than usual.
Yeah.
You could
I was
wait till
touching
the end.
myself,
You
looking
might
at
want
a
to wait till
poster
the
of
end of the
Justin
podcast for
Bieber.
that though.
Alright.
You having the recording equipment and that. Right, I've had enough. I'm going home. You two can sit here and talk the fucking table.
I'm going,
shaking my ball.
I'm going over for a sob and a wank. In no particular order.
So speaking of Battlefront 2, oh well, there you go, news dropped. Battlefront 2 is in production, expected to drop halfway through 2017. But what they have said is that after Battlefront 2, they're going to make it like every 3 or 4 years for a Star Wars installment.
That's cool.
So it's not going to be a yearly thing like COD. So hopefully it means it'll retain the quality.
I hope so. Because you just get tired after year
I
releasing the same shit.
love how panned that COD video's been on YouTube.
Yeah,
I
The
love
most
that.
disliked video on YouTube.
It's got like 2 million downvotes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's only got like 300,000.
And they've been like, they've had to be though, where the thing about Battlefield, oh, looks really good.
Yeah. They've all. Is it Activision that do Call of Duty?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember they've been on record saying that they don't give a fuck, right? That it's been so heavily criticised because they went, if you remember, it was the same with Black Ops 2. That trailer was like really heavily criticised, and it went on to be one of our best-selling games. So, but it wasn't quite to the same extent.
Also,
you know what I mean?
the trailer didn't look as bad as this looks. I've got around to watching the trailer, and frankly, it looks. Frankly, it just looks like a PlayStation 2 game. It's appalling.
It's the same old shit though, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I wanted to play something that looked like that, I'd go back to Destiny. Do you know what I mean?
Destiny didn't look too bad.
No, but I don't mean like that. I mean like
Something in space.
Yeah, like
Shooter in space.
The aesthetic of it, not so much the graphical fidelity. Sorry,
Justin.
Forgot about that.
Oh, we didn't. Some bacon crisps there, Mike, if you want some.
Well, I'm good, thanks.
What's wrong with you?
CD Projekt Red has published its first quarter results for this year, and they've made 8.5 million net profit.
Good.
They deserve it.
I want them to do awesome.
The more they've recently expanded the company, taken on loads more workers and made it bigger and stuff.
Good.
Which just says good things for
Good things for
Cyberpunk.
good games. Yep.
Yeah, sorry. See, I'm sure about Alzheimer's. I keep forgetting shit.
I brought it to you first.
Or shoes that fire guns,
Mhm.
that fire shoes.
The fire bullets, the fire shoes.
Yeah.
Who knows where it'll end? So speaking of CD Projekt Red, they've released some screenshots of Blood and Wine, and there's one where apparently as well the graphics for Blood and Wine are supposedly superior to the base game anyway. I'm not sure how that would work, but apparently they are. But the screenshots that they've released, there's one of Geralt standing over like a fucking mangled corpse on a table, and it's like literally being cut to bits, and there's like a bucket full of his guts like next to it. And apparently they've been catching a lot of flack about like how fucking like gory it was, and they've basically turned around and just went, well, it's an adult game to be played by adults, and they can see what they want to see or not want to see, so we're not going to babyfy them, we're not going to censor it, it's an adult game. And I was like, yes, get in.
Well done.
Well played there, CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red, as far as I can tell, they're basically at the point where they can do no wrong.
It's them and Rockstar, isn't it?
Yeah,
Just,
they're holding the fort up.
they're just like, oh, we don't give a fuck. It's an adult game, fuck off.
But like, it's right though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
My 9-year-old's going to get traumatised by this. You shouldn't be playing it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, the people who are criticising it have obviously never played the game anyway.
It's pretty grim.
Yeah, there's some really fucking grim bits. Like,
Digging up babies' corpses
Yeah.
to rebury them so that, or kill them again.
I was thinking about when you get in Novigrad, I can't remember what the guy's name is, but the guy who just like tortures and like shags and kills all the prostitutes.
Yeah.
And he's got them like all hanging up when he's in the bath and that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that bit, I remember when I first saw that, I was like, fuck me, this is dark as fuck. And I was like, what do I do with them? And I was like, I'm going to beat the living piss out of them. It was the only right option.
But then again, the people who complain about it's probably some shitty parent who's bought it for their 5-year-old and then walked in
There's
and
that
seen what
vampire
they play.
quest where if you do it wrong and you get the wrong guy, you find that Duke's son and he's like carving up a prostitute as you catch him. But it's not him. He's not the guy you're looking for. Unless I've just spotted for you two and you two finished on him.
It's games like that
Can't
that appeal
remember
to the
that bit.
human condition and how we would react to it.
The boss has spoken.
There you go, hi.
So you know who Greg Ellis is?
Your ex-boyfriend, isn't it?
Current boyfriend.
Yeah, there we go.
Love her.
So he's the guy who did the voice in Dragon Age Origins 2 and Inquisition for Cullen.
Alright.
So the dude's gone missing. He's been missing for about a week. And it's like proper police reports filed and shit, but the dude had mental health problems apparently. So yeah, there might be no more Cullen in the next Dragon Age because he's probably dead.
That's fucking awful, that.
Yeah.
That's bummed me out.
We're going to have to just find someone else with a similar voice. No, it is really bad, actually.
They could just, like, crowbar it in somehow, like, in the opening scenes of the next one. Cullen's, like, fighting some guy and he gets his fucking larynx, like, punched in or something. And then, like,
I mean, like in Star Wars, where they wrote Mark Hamill's scar in.
yeah. And then, you know...
I always thought that was pretty cool, actually.
So then they could use a different voice actor and just blame it on the crushed larynx.
Just get somebody to go, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Hello, Inquisitor.
Get one of them talk box things, please.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, so it starts off with Cullen just smoking, and then the next scene he's in hospital shaking his head and crying. Oh, that would be good.
In all seriousness,
hopefully the dude's alright.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah.
he's alright.
Hello, Inquisitor. Oh,
So Sega's looking at doing a remaster of Shenmue for this console, this generation.
do not care.
I'm over remastering shit, like... I'd rather they just made
Something new.
new shit. But this is the thing though, it's the same as the yearly fucking thingy, isn't it? It's like, we'll remaster this and it's safe money rather than like putting it out there. So I mean, from a business perspective I understand it, but as a gamer it does me tits in.
But as a gamer, you can see that makes more sense than remastering something from the PS3.
Agreed.
Or the
Yeah,
Xbox
I
3.
agree with that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Fair enough.
It's just a shame because aren't they in the middle of doing the new Shenmue? In fact, it was announced last year at E3, I'm sure it was. No. So there's been a rumour going around that the new Nintendo is going to be more powerful than the
What?
PS4
God, here we go.
and the Xbox One, but it's all been cleared up now.
And it's not.
It's not, no. So you know the PS4 uses x86 architecture and the processors and stuff, and they said in terms of power, it's going to be much closer to the Xbox One than the PS4. But they're saying even that's a stretch.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like nowhere near as powerful as even
So
the
what they're
Xbox
saying
One.
is we're bringing out our new consoles several years later and it's going to be shitter than what's on the market.
Well, what's confused people is the new.
It's basically going, we're much closer to Paris than we are to fucking like Uzbekistan.
It's
Even
because
though that Paris is still like a day's like, you know, travel away.
the processor they've got for it's brand new, and this company's made it specifically for them. So everybody's thinking it's going to be like the most powerful thing ever, and it's not. And it's
No.
like it's behind the Xbox.
I remember when they were talking about the Wii U coming out, and they were saying that the specs at the time were going to be because obviously that came out before the PS4 and the
Yeah.
Xbox One, and they were saying that it was more powerful than like like at the time current gen, and I was like, all right, that sounds pretty cool, that. And then it came out that it wasn't even comparable to fucking the PS3.
It was like a Wii U. with
And
a
I'm just
bit more
getting,
memory.
it's like, it's the same shit again. It's like Nintendo obviously don't give a fuck about like raw processing power.
They're a joke. They don't give a fuck about anything. The only I can't remember who I was saying it to. It was somebody I was talking to online who was sticking up for Nintendo. Oh, Nintendo's alright, they're alright. I'm like, well, if for the last 15 years you want to play go-kart games or jump about as a plumber, then yeah, they're great. 15 years of the same game on underpowered consoles.
The thing is though, is like, I mean, you're going back away now, but like Nintendo's like sort of claim was like they always had like really good gameplay. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if they were committed to that, then I wouldn't mind if the graphical fidelity wasn't up to scratch. But the fact is it's like they've hauled themselves out to that many third-party players. Like, look at any title on the Wii. Do you know what I mean? A lot of it isn't even like Nintendo like franchises or IPs. It's just like, right, oh, you want to make a Wii game? Crack on, yeah.
And it's
and they're all
stupid shit
shit.
like I can't remember what it was called. Somebody showed us it years ago. Wario Party or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just these stupid little mini games you're supposed to play with your mates, and that was awful.
It's like, seriously, right, if
Well-
I had the choice between a Wii U with every single fucking game out there and like a load of beer and like mates to play it with, or a box of Cards Against Humanity, I'd choose Cards Against Humanity every single time without
No,
fail.
it's funny you said Nintendo were always all about gameplay. That's because you're a bit younger than us. To give you an idea of like the jump in consoles, the first big technical jump from like blocks on a screen to like visually attractive games was when the NES, the normal Nintendo Entertainment System, and around about the same time the Sega Master System came out. And those two consoles were a huge jump. Like,
Then when we got the Super Nintendo.
well, I'm moving on to that, yeah. But what happened was the NES, you chose your Sega or your Nintendo based on titles because the titles were that different on those consoles, right? And there wasn't much in it, but the NES was a little bit more powerful. Then the real jump from 8-bit to 16-bit, like I know it's not a lot now, it's laughable to talk about 16-bit being powerful, but you're talking about your next generation was twice the power of the previous generation. And then you had the SNES, the Super Nintendo, and the Mega Drive. And the Mega Drive's still a fucking cool console, but the SNES really was the first like console on steroids.
Yeah.
The SNES was the first like, yeah, well, you've got that on your PC. Look at this. A lot of SNES titles were better than current PC games at the time.
Look at how smooth Super Street Fighter 2 ran when you put on the fastest it could go. It was awesome.
And there was a lot of PCs at the time couldn't hold a candle to a SNES, right? It was an amazing piece of kit, and Nintendo then were not just recognised for good gameplay. They were also weren't exclusive. They didn't just have in-house game publishers.
Yeah.
You could put titles on their machine. Do you know what I mean?
And there was some stupid fucking games like Pilot Wings. Shit like that would never get made now.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't even just the SNES either. Like,
But my point being though was that Nintendo at one time were the absolute powerhouse.
yeah.
Nintendo at one time were like the golden oracle. I swapped, and this is a lot of money's worth at the time. I swapped my SNES for 2 ounces of cannabis.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cannabis, isn't it, for them?
Yeah.
That's the thing. No, I mean,
We smoked it.
the N64 was kind of like in between like generations for like the rest of the world, but it's like that the whole thing, the N64, that was 64-bit. That was like twice as powerful as a current PlayStation 1. They just didn't figure out how to use all the power until the end of the life cycle of the console, and by then the PS2 had dropped. So
Yeah. I remember having a hard time when they came out because I was like, do I buy the N64 or do I get the PS1? I ended up getting them both. And that night I got me, you and Stu were playing
That was awesome.
all night.
And still one of the best gaming nights ever.
Totally, I think that's what the Nintendo was good for, you know, just with your mates
Yeah.
playing and just having a laugh.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was good shit.
And then they just what happened is Nintendo's a classic case of when a company fucking believes its own hype.
Like Sega.
Yeah.
Look at this mega CD.
well, where they went wrong is they decided they were gonna with the Wii, they decided, like their words, they were gonna revolutionise the gaming thing, because they were basically like, graphics are only going to get so much better, so what we need to do now is change how people play games. And it's like, and
Just getting gimmicky as fuck.
yeah, and then they ended up with a fucking remote in your hand.
Sega would have done alright if not for the way they went about the Dreamcast, because you had to pay this money for a pad, and you had to pay this money for something that added onto the pad, then you had to pay this money for a lead that went from the add-on of the pad. Do you know what I mean? Everything was in little bits.
It was a shame because the Dreamcast was a fucking incredible
It's
console.
one of my favourite consoles.
Probably my favourite console.
I love just stupid shit like Sega Bass Fishing, man.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. It was awesome. Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi, man.
Great game.
Oh, Fantasy Star Online.
SNES is still my favourite console. In that or on the Master System, because as you pointed out the other
Alex
week,
Kidd.
I fucking loved Alex Kidd, didn't I?
Wonder Boy as well was fucking awesome.
I've got a soft spot for the Sega Saturn, but that's only because my dad had one when I was growing up. And like, just fucking like Golden Axe 3,
what?
Sega Rally Championship.
Ironically, I don't even like platformers normally, but I just fucking love Alex Kidd. Jing, ding, oh.
Man, I miss Treasure Island Dizzy.
Yeah.
We need to get that shit back over there.
I'd play Alex Kidd again, I'd play it through. I used to love getting different boots and stuff like that.
So I was reading somewhere that the head of Sony and somebody else, I think from Microsoft, have been saying that they believe in not the next generation, but the one after that, it'll be streaming only for games, and they think that's the way forward.
Yeah, I read that. I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
Because cast your mind back several years ago to, what was it called?
Xbox One launch.
No, like
Well, I'm not wrong, am I?
no.
there was what was it called, like the Ouya or something?
Oh, the yeah.
Yeah, and that was the whole crap. I mean, obviously you just rented shit then, but that was streaming only, wasn't it?
That was all mobile games though,
Yeah.
and you played it on your TV. I know somebody who bought one, and 20 minutes after plugging it in, threw it off the floor and smashed it
Oh well.
because it was that shit.
But yeah, I don't see it happening myself. Like, I mean, it might, but I don't think in the next console iteration. I think you're talking 20, 30 years at least. Just because, like, I don't know, it's a big jump, isn't it? It's not just like a gradual thing. It's like, all right, well, you're going from having like all these hard copies of games and all that kind of stuff, and all the other business that's sprouted up around that, to just streaming.
That's why they're doing it, though. That's why they want to do it. They want to get rid of that market.
Also, you've got to consider that, like, I know people's internet connections are getting better and that, like, even in the last 5 years, but can people's connections
reliable
handle,
enough,
handle streaming AAA games? Like, you've also got to consider in the next console iteration how good and how powerful the games are going to be anyway.
How big they're going to be? I mean,
Yeah.
at the minute they're 50 gig, like
Yeah.
for a really good big game.
Yeah, they're massive.
And then you've got the day one patch, usually to put on top of that.
So I don't know. It might be coming, but it's a way off, I think.
And then how are they going to price it? Are they going to have the same price as what's in the PlayStation Store now, which is an absolute rip-off? Or are they going to look at the prices and fucking knock them down a bit?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to walk away like...
And that's the thing, if it is streaming, then it's the whole Xbox One thing again, where it's like you need to be online for it. I mean, it goes without saying, obviously, because you're streaming, but what happens if, like, you know, you haven't paid your internet bill and you just want to sit and play something? Do you know what I mean? It's nice to have that option, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where you don't need to be connected.
I mean,
to
if there's
the
somebody
internet
out there
to
who
play
doesn't pay the internet bill on time, then they're just a fucking savage and they deserve it. So,
yeah. I'm changing provider because they won't let me change my direct debit date, so I'm done with them now. Like,
I'll miss every bill on earth except my internet bill.
Yeah.
That's on time all the time.
So apparently, the Overwatch beta. Do you know how, like, we were saying, like, well, you know, looks alright for what it is, but apparently people love it. Have a guess how many people played the beta?
3 million.
Millions.
Up.
30 million.
No.
8 million.
Over 10 million.
That's pretty good.
Which, to give you an idea though, right, The Witcher 3 sold over 10 million copies in its lifetime. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So it's going to do well then.
So a lot of people are apparently right into it.
I can't see why though. For what it is.
I think it's just kind of like the next sort of iteration of like classic fucking team deathmatch shit. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole reason why everyone played like Unreal Tournament and stuff. It's just the next kind of like thing
No.
like that.
The reason people played Unreal Tournament is because it was awesome.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, like you didn't buy for the fucking campaign, did you?
No, you bought it to run around with a fucking mass cannon whilst listening to Motorhead. That's what I did. What?
Can't argue with that. But they're saying that if anybody's caught cheating one time in Overwatch, they're banned for life.
I don't particularly disagree with that because it's gonna. I think it's just going to make an exception of a few people. I think it's going to put a stop to cheating pretty quick because no one's going to fucking bother, are they? Like, the mates will do it and they're like, oh shit, I'm banned for life now. And then all their mates will be like, oh, I'm a fuck cheating then.
Have you seen the special collector's edition of Battlefield 1 yet? The
No.
box set?
Do I get a trench helmet?
Unfortunately, no.
Do you get a whopping trouble?
Do you get a why?
Nope. I honestly can't see why this is classed as special collector's edition.
What's in it?
So you get a figure,
Not bothered about the figure.
Don't give a fuck either.
steel book,
I like steel books, but I'm not that bothered.
deck of cards,
Nah, not fussed.
a patch,
No, not bothered.
an exclusive cloth poster,
Nah.
and a message pigeon tube with exclusive DLC content.
A message pigeon tube.
Yeah. And that will set you back
Sounds
220 notes.
exactly 220.
Really? Get it?
Fuck that.
Well,
I need
two-
to put the
I'll not
lottery
get
on
that.
the
I'll get
$220.
I'll get
Oh,
whatever
alright.
you know the edition that comes out with like when you get your DLC in it and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll get that.
I think I'm just going to buy the game and then get the season pass.
Yeah.
I'll do that because well the thing is when you buy the game, the one with the season pass, you normally get either the same price as if you paid for both anyway, but you get a few other little gems.
Yeah.
Like you might get a couple of decent guns that are just exclusive and things like that for the same money.
Also, you've got to think as well.
Or
that,
sometimes you get it a bit cheaper. Like
the resale value for that copy of the game will be more later on down the line if you choose to get rid of it as well.
There's always that.
I don't think so because not once you've used that fucking code, it's worth jack shit.
Yeah, but because it says special edition, you'll probably
Oh,
get more for it. Bad news, everybody.
Crash
Crash Bandicoot's not coming back to...
Oh, he's not.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, Half-Life 3.
So it turns out that everybody's been thinking Sony's got the rights back for Crash Bandicoot.
Oh,
and
they haven't,
don't.
have they?
It's
No.
Activision
Yeah.
who owns it. So it looks like Crash Bandicoot ain't coming back. Bad news.
Unless Activision are like,
Call of Duty's doing shit.
no, people say, right, Crash Bandicoot.
Let's do Call of Bandicoot.
So I've been playing Uncharted 4.
Crash Ops 2.
And Crash Bandicoot's in Uncharted 4. You can play Crash Bandicoot on his PlayStation. Like it boots up
Yeah.
and plays the sound, and yeah, it's awesome.
I don't dislike the Uncharted games by any means. I think they're really good, but I haven't had like a massive sort of like draw towards them.
Me neither.
Like I played the second one, I haven't played the third or the fourth one. And today I was on like the IGN app on the PS4 thing, and I watched some wifey's like 5-minute review for it for IGN, and I was like, this game looks so fucking cool, I need to buy it.
I tell you, it's probably the most beautiful game I've ever
Yeah.
seen. The graphics are stunning, but it is to video games what Lord of the Rings was to movies. It just doesn't know when to fucking end.
Yeah, basically her criticism of it was the third act drags on like quite a long time.
Yeah.
But she was saying she was like, there's flashes of like fucking brilliance though, and
Totally.
they're not too like few and far between.
They've totally refined some of the things from the previous games that I thought was a bit shit. Like sometimes the climbing was utterly gash.
What I really liked though is the thing that really wowed me was when she was talking about how you can like your companions, right? They mirror your play.
Yeah.
So if you're being stealthy, they'll be stealthy and they won't fuck it up. Do you know what I mean?
And sometimes what's happened is when
That's
I'm being
cool, like.
stealthy and I'm waiting for a certain guard to come back round,
Yeah.
before I've got a chance to go and take him out, my companion's gone and just broke his neck and brought him back into the bushes where we're hiding.
But that's so cool. But it's like if you want to go in and just go mental, they'll do the same.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, it was like if they're on the climbing bits, it's like if they're in your way, they'll let you past and shit like that.
Climb
And I-
over them,
Yeah, and I was like, fucking hell, that's like such a simple thing, but it's like that'll change things, because I can't think of the amount of games where like I'll have been trying to get through a doorway or do something, and then some
Yes.
fucking companion.
I've actually found myself getting infuriated at stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I
Like-
feel the rage within.
How bad was fucking Cicero in Skyrim for doing that, pushing you through doorways and not letting you fucking back through? But I was just like, that's incredible. They've just fucking
The story, the story thing in it is amazing. It's pretty much the Goonies.
yeah.
You're going after pirate treasure, but it's really good. And the multiplayer, it looks like they've learned from The Last of Us, implemented some of the
Yeah.
stuff from there.
That's what I thought,
And
because
it's really
I
good.
looked at the multiplayer and I was like, you know what, that looks fun, because I expected it to just be like tagged on, kind of half-assed,
Yeah.
like. But I was like, it seems to be pretty well done.
Yeah.
Like that was the same
It
comparison
just
I
doesn't
drew.
spring to mind as a game you buy for multiplayer though, does it?
No,
No, I
and
just
neither,
think it's-
neither's The Last of Us, but if you've played The Last of Us online,
Yeah,
it's
it's worth
really good.
playing. It's worth putting some time into the multiplayer on The Last of Us. But that's a comparison I drew. I thought that looks like The Last of Us multiplayer.
It's
But yeah,
really,
it looks,
really good.
It looks good. So I'm probably going to pick that up. Like, actually, depends, because we've only got like a month or so until No Man's Sky drops.
It's definitely worth picking up now.
Mm.
Before No Man's Sky, then you've got something to play.
They're gonna they'll put the date back for No Man's Sky.
The what?
They will. They will. No Man's Sky is It's the Drive Club.
Sci-fi games.
Yeah.
Speaking of No Man's Sky, right? There's a bloke, because you know, do you know what like Ludum Dare is? Right. Well, basically, it's like it's a little like convention thing that like games, like indie games developers do, and it's like a competition. So you go to like this thing and like you'd have a certain set of restrictions. So like this game needs to be themed around like I don't know the fucking rainbow or candles or something, and then you've got like 2 days to go away and fucking make a game about it, right? And then they judge the winners and shit. And
That's cool.
all the rest of it gets put on like various indie sites, and you can buy them for a couple of quid, and the proceeds go wherever, right? So there's a similar thing to that. I can't remember what the actual like name of the thingy was, but there's a guy called Ivan Natoros, right? Who's made an 8-bit version of No Man's Sky called Norman Sky. Right?
I want it already.
for this thing, and he's because the restriction for that was it had to be like 64 by 64 pixels. So he's done like an 8-bit version of No Man's Sky, and he goes, obviously it's bare bones. It's more or less just like traveling and that. But I was like, that's really fucking cool. That to do in like a couple of days.
That's kind of funny.
Speaking of 8-bit, Uncharted 4's got this thing. Once you complete the game, you can choose these stupid fucking options to do another playthrough. So you can do like a cell shaded, and it looks like Borderlands. It's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Then there's
I like
8-bit, and then you can choose 8-bit audio as well, so it sounds and looks awful. 16-bit, and there's like loads of other different things you can buy.
That's cool. That I like that as an option.
That's funny.
When I say buy, I mean like with points you've earned throughout the game. Not
Can you remember them purists crying when they remastered The Last of Us, and there was loads of purists said, I want the option to take out the HD.
yeah.
Do you remember? What a fucking bunch of bell ends.
But what they didn't realise was it was already in HD for the PS3.
Yeah.
Apparently, though, with Uncharted 4, the actual like the story is 30 FPS, but the multiplayer is 60.
Yeah.
So the multiplayer will probably like look well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The fucking game looked amazing, even at 30. All the way through it, I was thinking, it's just, the thing that's letting it down for us is there's no photo mode. Because at some points I was like, oh, I wish I had photo mode for this.
Press options, press take screenshot.
But there is a photo mode. It's in the fucking first patch, which I didn't put on the game until I'd finished playing it. And I did that on purpose so I couldn't try the multiplayer until I finished the fucking game. Because I knew for a fact if I did...
But you could have done
I
it
wouldn't
anyway
go
just by taking a screenshot, you dickhead.
I know, but then you got all the hood in and stuff. You can take the hood out and you can zoom in and go around and add filters and depth of field with the photo mode. You can't do that if you just take screenshot. It's an alright game.
It's not one.
It's worth playing. That's fucking it for me. Like, I've got nowhere else. It's been way too slow this week.
Done.
Yeah, I'm tapped out. Like
I'm going to go and play Battlefront.
good.
Are you logging on, like?
I might die.
Oh, I was just remembering I'm washing my hair.
All right, never mind then. We'll leave it till another time.
Go and get Battlefront, Cooper. Oh, niggers.